It's time now to add a hatch pattern to the floor. It's not part of the sketch, and once again I left it out only to allow you to see the file, and we'll be placing the hatch pattern here. The hatch pattern goes on its own layer also. I'm going to select the Layer Properties Manager. I'm going to select New, and I'm going to title this A Hatch for architectural hatching. I'm going to make the color, instead of picking it from here, I'll go to my pull down menu and select blue, and I'll make it the current layer, and I will select OK. By the way, the reasons that I have selected these colors is because for me the red represents a much heavier line weight than the yellow, and if we look at the sketch, I want my walls to appear much heavier than the fixtures. So visually speaking, that's what it does for me. You can go ahead and select different colors, but I will tell you what to do if that does happen. So getting back to hatching, we're going to put a tile pattern on the floor, and we're going to assume that it's a 12 by 12 pattern of vinyl tile, ceramic tile, marble, granite, whatever you'd like to. What we're trying to show are the joint lines here. What a hatch pattern does when you apply it, it tries to find an enclosed boundary. If the area is enclosed, you will be able to hatch your drawing file. So for example, I'll be able to hatch this floor because it's an enclosed boundary. It's closed off by this line segment here and by the door. But really, I don't want the hatch pattern to go into the area of the door. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to zoom into my area here, and I'm going to draw a line from this intersection to that one. Right click and enter. Now I'm going to pan my drawing down a little bit and zoom it out. Now I can place my hatch. I'm going to select the hatch icon. This is the boundary hatch and fill dialog box. We're in the hatch tab. The type of hatch I'd like to apply right now is going to be a user defined. I know exactly what I want and I know how I would like to do it. So I'm going to place the values into the areas that I need to. The angle of the hatch is going to be 0 degrees because I want my hatch to run horizontal, and I'm also going to want it to run vertical. So what I need to do is check this box that indicates double. You'll notice how the swatch changes to reflect what I have placed in here. I'm going to select spacing, and as we know, our tiles typically come in 12-inch sizes. So I'm going to set that to 12. Angle is 0. It's double. And it's going to be what's called an associative hatch, meaning it's associated to the line segments that make up the boundary. I'm ready to pick points now. So I'm going to select an internal point. I'm going to click on this button. It takes me back to my Autocad drawing screen, and it indicates to select internal point. Any point here will be considered internal, so I'm going to click. And as I told you, AutoCAD looks for a boundary. The lines that you right now see dotted represent that boundary that AutoCAD has found, and that's what we wanted. So once we have selected the internal point, we now can right click and we can select enter, and we can make any changes now if we'd like to. Otherwise I can preview, and this is what the pattern looks like, and it looks fine to me. Hopefully it does to you as well. I can right click again, and when I do that, it applies the pattern. What's interesting here is that if I were to move one of the lines, it actually moves the whole pattern. So what's happening is the hatch is acting as a single entity, and that's what we want it to do. I just tapped the escape key, and that takes me back to a blank command line. I'm going to zoom extents one more time. The next thing I'd like to do is to create or place a solid hatch on the walls and make this appear more like a presentation drawing than a working drawing. So let's do that next.